What do you think of my house, sir?
Yeah, it looks nice. It's a good setup you have here.
Have you seen anything more beautiful?
No, never in my life. Well, I just gotta send this last thing to...
Especially my balcony.
Especially your what?
My balcony,
Yes.
which is now worth much, much more because Edivin Karlson smoked a cigar here. I don't have it on video, but I have him on video admitting it. Sir, can you confirm it was you who smoked a cigar there?
Yes.
Okay, now the apartment is worth more. I wonder if I have enough storage space on this.
We'll find out.
This is the setup. I feel like a vlogger now.
You are a vlogger.
I feel like if I
You're
move around
You're
this,
the new Jake Paul.
if I
Just
move
accept it.
around this building holding this, people won't be rude to me because I have this on camera. People will respect me more, which will be a premiere. So I invited Edvin for a podcast. And now Edvin decided to start working. He can't stop, he just can't stop. He just found some random wardrobe and he pulled out his laptop. I was just putting my shoes on and he said, "Oh, how much does this take? Like 40 seconds, he will get some work done." And now he's working on my wardrobe.
Yeah.
Crazy guy.
So it is.
I'm keeping the recording on because
Yeah.
I want to see your unique reaction to the building and how beautiful this is.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I wonder if people like you enough for this to perform well. My content is not performing well at all on Instagram because people dislike me. But now that I bought you in here, maybe people will like you instead.
Maybe. Maybe. Who
Maybe.
knows, man?
And if they don't like you either, I will find another person.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Gotta find another person.
Now I'm not sure if I want to leave. My home is too cozy with this background and the rain outside, the Metropolitan line and the beautiful London. It's very cozy here. Come on, sir.
Let's go.
Welcome to my crib, MTV. I like holding the camera.
Yeah.
It feels very natural. Some people say, "Oh my God, holding the camera, it feels really." It doesn't feel good. It's also exciting because people don't know where we're going. We're on this hallway, and the people are watching and thinking, "Where could those guys go?"
It's the
Maybe we go here,
adventure
in the
of
reading
lifetime.
gallery. Maybe we go to this place and record the podcast here. But no, that's incorrect. We're not going there.
Looks pretty sick though.
It does look very nice.
Let's see what we do.
Go, sir. Toss on the elevator. Do you like those plants? The building owner hand framed those flowers from her own garden and made them into
I think that's cap.
No,
Okay.
it's very true. Now I have to stop the recording to open this door. Sorry, guys. Sunday with Edvin, March 10th podcast. My proposal is to shoot this in a long vlog style, which I already did by this point. Part 1 introduction, pre-business, 20-30 minutes. We've recorded for 2 hours. Cozy atmosphere in London, a relaxed Sunday morning. Edvin is sitting on a bench by himself, long shot from the back. 2 door joins and sits next to him. The reason why this didn't make it to the video because Edvin is very lucky. I bought some cigars, but it's raining outside and we can't record in the rain because it ruined my phone, my microphones and everything. So we recorded inside and we had no cigars. And also Edvin was afraid of cigars because he said in the morning,
It's too early.
it's too early. He was afraid of cigars, he was afraid of coffee.
Well, I had coffee
You
already.
had 1 coffee, but I proposed you to.
This guy wants to push me 3 coffees.
And then you were afraid of 3 things. You're afraid of cigars, coffee, and the 4th thing, what was it, rain?
Rain.
Yeah.
For the gear. For the cameras.
You know this, if you ever build a website, 1K, 1.5K, 2K for a really big website, everything stops there. The whole market, all those market rates, it's commoditized. How much does a website cost? 1,500, that's it, that's the price, industry-wise. And here we have yourself, sir.
Yeah.
Charging 100,000 euros to build a WordPress website.
No. We don't charge 100K for a WordPress website, but we do. I think the biggest blocker for me back when I started was obviously pricing. I had clients, but I didn't have the pricing in place. So I had my set clients that came with me with websites pretty much monthly, which I was very lucky to have those kind of clients. They were happy with the service, and I was happy to work for them. But I would be charging £400 for a website, between 400 and 500 pounds for a website. And really started off with me not wanting to charge higher because I might lose that client, right? That was my deal. I know I quoted them on one website, on the first ever website I did with them, I quoted them £900 and they were like, can we do it for 500? Otherwise we don't have the budget.
What a good client to work for.
And I said yes, stupidly, because it's a company that actually makes millions per month, and I know that this client pays alone, I think 120k pounds in rent. So I'm not going to name the client, but I knew that they had a lot of money. But for some reason I accepted, let's do £500 websites. And I did that for about 7 months, I think, from October to May, I think it was. And that's when that was a few months in after I joined the mastermind that we were both in. And I was really pushed by the founder of that mastermind to increase my prices because the service was great, but the prices wasn't there. So I kind of decided to fuck it and increase my prices. And I haven't had any really clients to stop because of that. Strangely enough, it's a bit of a process to increase prices. The guidance that I got was just increase them like this. Instead of charging $500, charge 5K. Instead of doing that, I felt like it was too steep of a jump because I knew that obviously for the price of $400 or $500, you can only put that much work into it, especially if you have multiple clients. So it wouldn't make sense to put 2 months of work into a website for $400. So I wouldn't be able to do these great websites that I can reference for a client that I'm gonna pitch for 5K. So what I did is I gradually increased it. So I did more work than necessary on these £500 websites. And for when I was pitching for a 1K website, I could be like, hey, this is another website we did for 1K, this is what you'll get.
So what you're saying was, you were charging $500 for websites, and then you started to over-deliver value.
Yes. So
to create portfolio websites, which you can showcase to other people and say, hey, we'll be charging 1K for this.
Exactly. So what we did basically, our deals was, okay, $400, $500, and I would always over-deliver on those websites to make sure that for the next client that I pitch, I can show them this website, which is worth 1.5, 2K, 3K. And I can pitch them and be like, hey, this website, you'll get this for 1 or 1.5K, for example. And I increased my prices like this. And on the 1.5K websites, on the increased budgets, I would over-deliver again. So I would work more hours than I should have, more time, take time to create more images, more cost on my own personal, buying videos, licensing this, that. And I would over-deliver again. So it would be a website worth 3K, look like. So I could go to the next client I'm pitching and say, hey, for 3K, you'll get this kind of website. And sometimes it would be no, or sometimes it would be no, we don't have the budget for that. And a few times it was, yeah, okay, let's do it. Perfect. And it kind of snowballed from there. And I did that for every single client. And it just became more and more. And eventually I was doing 5, 6K websites. And I would be over-delivering for 8, 9, 10K website. And I would pitch a client for 15 and I would say, hey, this is what we did for 12 or 10. And I can get you this much more and whatever you need if we do 15. and it was June 2023, so pretty much a bit over a year in my agency, that I got my first website for 15k euros accepted, and I was through the roof. It was the best day of my life, I think.
People say there's no secret, but you're telling us some confidential information because it's not trivial what you're describing. So the process is, you have websites, let's say you're currently building websites for $500 or $1,000. Instead of delivering a website for 500 as you deliver a website for 500, you deliver a website as you would for 2K.
Yeah.
And you build a bunch of websites that look like 2K websites for $500.
Yes.
And then the next guys, you show them these websites and you increase the price and you keep repeating that, and always like taking a loan from yourself in the future to apply it to now, with your goal in mind to build a crazy portfolio of amazing websites.
Yes.
And the guys who happen to work with you on the Ascent will be just fucking lucky because they got so much work for
free.
For a huge discount.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And obviously it took a lot of time to do, but I think it was worth it because I always knew, somewhere I always knew that eventually I will get to the point where I charge 25, 30, 40k for websites. And after I sold that 15k website, which was the highest that I'd ever sold a website for, that's when I kind of went to myself, I was like, shit, now I need to over-deliver on this as well. How much can I over-deliver? And the more and more I kept over-delivering, the more of these opportunities I would get for new websites with my agency. So we would still, of course, have these 3K, 2K, 4K websites that we would do every now and then, because that's just how it is with an agency, especially last year when it was, I didn't have super consistent clients, but I had relatively consistent ones. And I would be like, okay, shit, focus. How can I over-deliver as much as I can? Because in the end, I was like, we're doing a crazy website and we're charging based on the value we're giving them. I thought, obviously, I would have charged more if I look back at it, because we of course, we gave a lot of value to this company. But now it's like, how can I give more value to these guys than 15K? Like, there's only that much design, customization, and animations you can do for 15K. Like, there's only that much. It was tricky to find a way to increase the prices even more and to over-deliver on that project. So that's when I started realizing that to deliver more value, I just need higher caliber clients as well. If a client is making, let's say, 5K a month in e-commerce, and we build a new website for them and their conversion rate increases by 30%, right? They don't have a lot. They have an extra, what, $1,500 a month in value from the extra 30%. Like, it's gonna take a while to pay off if they pay 15K for a website.
But if that guy is making 500K per month.
Exactly. if someone is making 500K a month or 100K a month, and we do a 5% increase, and we charge 20K for a website, like, it's gonna be paid off really fast. And now, I mean, we worked with some clients that make millions a month, and we do new websites for them that's gonna be way more optimized for their target audience and for the users, mobile users, conversion rate optimized. So only one extra deal for them per month will pay off tenfold for the price of the website. And that's what we kind of aim for now. We want to have, obviously we kind of want to be a growth partner with our clients. So if we see great potential in a client, we want to work with them, even though they have lower budgets in the start. We want to work with them from the start and help them and be their person and be their agency to go with once they eventually grow. If we see great potential in a company, like, let's do it.
And you're not doing that out of being a good citizen. You see the lifetime value of the guys blowing up, and if they blow up, then you guys are...
Yeah, and honestly, it's not only lifetime value. Like, I'm not always thinking of that exactly. A lot of the time I look at the company and say, fuck, one day, if we work with this client, one day I want to be able to go to this client's company, if it's a restaurant or hotel or if it's a store, and I want to be able to tell the people that I'm with, like, hey, we designed this. Like we did this. We created this logo. We created their website. We created the designs on their colors or the menus over here. We created this. Like I want to like feeling stuff, seeing tangible stuff that you've created. It's incredible. And if it's for other people and they're very happy with it and they have a company that grows as well, it just feels more powerful. You can actually see what you do.
That's just the first 5 minutes. The next few days, they give you the 5-star hotel room with a sea view in the hotel which you designed the website for, and it converts
Hopefully.
more, they get more bookings.
Hopefully.
And you get free champagne in your room, and you get a free massage. And in the spa, they give you the good masseuse, not the new one,
hold on,
the old one who's like super cool.
Yeah.
So all this cool stuff, and that's just for hotels. For cars, let's say you end up working with Lamborghini or some other, and they give you, hey, you're in Germany this week, then we'll give you a Porsche for a month to play around with, the new Macan.
Maybe if you build apps like you, but websites, I'm not sure they would go that far. But maybe.
Really? So I'm making 500,000 per month, and if I'm working with you to build a website, I'm getting 40% more, I'm getting my money back. But also, if I'm working with someone who's not as experienced as yourself, there's also a degree of safety. What if I work with some idiot and instead of growing that, my conversion rate goes down? How much money am I going to lose?
Yeah, that's
another thing, which if I was making 500K per month and someone would come to me and would ask me for a 3K for a website, I'd be a tiny bit afraid. Like, big guys want to work with other big guys.
Yeah, most of the time that's the case, yes. You'll have some clients that are special, but most of the time, at least in my experience, you have the bigger the client, they want to obviously work with more established companies as well to make sure that the quality is there for what they need. Because obviously, if you buy a house or you buy an apartment and you're going to renovate it, and you have two options. One guy is going to charge 50K to renovate the whole thing, make it super luxurious, and one guy tells you, yeah, I'm going to charge you 5K and I'll renovate everything to perfection. Like, which one are you going to believe that's going to do the highest quality? Because it's somewhere where you're going to live. And a business, for example, a website, it's the same thing. Like, it's somewhere where your customers are going to be every day. Like, do you want to, do you really want
digital house.
Yeah, do you really want to gamble, like to save some money up front? Even if it's like a question about saving 5K, which, in a lot of cases, it's a lot of money for companies. But if it's already a relatively established company and they have the money to invest and they have the budget, it doesn't make sense to save it for if they want to save 5K, because that opportunity cost that it's going to cost them, like they'll lose out a lot of money on having, for example, a bad website. We have, I'm not going to say any names, but we received a built website a few weeks ago from a client that we pitched back in October or November. And I pitched them, I pitched them £16,000 for the website. And they said, okay, let me think about it. And they're a big company, right? They said, let's think about it for a bit. And I never heard anything back from them. I figured, okay, fine. They don't have the budget, or they found someone else. And they did find someone else. And they hired him for 2 months to build their website for, I'm not sure how much, but I think it was quite cheap. And they sent the website over to me when it was finished. And I looked through it, and man, holy shit. It was, I didn't know, like, I don't want to tackle too down. We might not post this online, maybe private, listed on YouTube or whatever, but this website was some of the worst shit I've ever seen. It was on Google PageSpeed, it had a 26-second load time.
Nice.
And it was...
Your customers leave you after 3 seconds, right?
Yeah, less.
Less than 3 seconds.
Yeah, and it was not mobile optimized. The sizes, the colors, the text was off. It was overlapping everywhere. It made no sense. It was laggy. And they spent, I can't believe more than 1K on the website. The code was a complete mess on the website. Like, everything was fucked up. And so I recorded a few videos. I roasted the shit out of the website. And I sent it to the client. And the client said, okay, how much can you build it for? I said, same as in October, 16K. And they were trying to to do some deals with us because they're like, oh, but can't we build on what's already built in place by this guy? And I was like, not a chance. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Like, no way. So we eventually ended up rebuilding the whole site, and we're just about to launch it in a few weeks. And so like for a lot of companies, saving a few grand, in this case they save maybe like 14K, which is a lot of money, but for a big company it's not that much money. And if you look at the amount of money they will lose from having this kind of website, like you're talking in like the hundreds of thousands in the next 2 years. So it doesn't make sense to hold back on this extra 10-15K on a website project if you have the budget for it. Obviously, if you're a new startup and you have 5K budget, I'm not telling you to spend 30K on a website. It's not going to grow your business. But if you have a business that you've started and it's relatively established and you know that the concept works and you have the budget for it, do it. Don't hold back. Then like a good website is gonna earn you a lot more money and it's gonna grow your business a lot faster. That's my little rant for that.
And if you decide not to, then you're no longer sad. In the first part of the podcast, we were saying, hey, you are accepting $500 websites because you wanted a lot of clients, a lot of work to do, a lot of stuff to do. Nowadays, when people say you need to apply to work with me, some people say that in a marketing way. I would say like most people say that in a marketing way. But in the service industry, I am in the industry, there's only one Edvin. So when you get a client who says, let's say you give him a quote for 2K and he says, can you do it for 800? I wouldn't touch that client with a 10-foot pole.
No, it depends on the reason, I think. If they truly only have 800 to spend on the budget, that's the only money they have. You could put up a super simple templated landing page for it. But if they're haggling your prices just to haggle with you, then don't touch it. It's just going to be a nightmare to work with.
So respect yourself.
Yeah.
That's a big mistake some people do in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, respect yourself, but again, in the beginning of any agency, I don't think you can't have too much respect for yourself, at least for my case. I couldn't, the lowest price website I ever built was $150. And you can't have self-respect if you are not established in the industry. If you have no portfolio and you don't really have a proper experience building these websites, you don't know what your websites do, you don't know how well they perform, you don't know how much increase in customers and paying customers that the website is going to get, you can't tell fuck you to a client when they ask you for 50% discount. You can't. You have to be like, fuck it, yeah, sure, let's do it. Because you don't have any proof to back you up if you're gonna have respect. So in the beginning, at least in my case, I couldn't have any respect for myself when it came to people negotiating deals with me. I couldn't. I would just accept what came.
Obviously, you don't build confidence by, I'm quoting Hormozy here, you don't build confidence by shouting out affirmations in the mirror, or by learning how to sell better, or by doing any of the new age things people are doing to close people. You build confidence by doing the thing.
Yeah.
Your strategy was very good. Building websites for 500 as you would if they were 2K.
Yeah.
And then building websites for 2K as they would if they were 5K.
Yeah.
And just flipping the switch in your mind and saying, how can I make this website the next tier? It's all about where you want to end up. Because if you want to build websites for 1K your whole life, you're going to build websites for 1K your whole life. There's no trick.
It's just dedication, man. Dedication and being consistent with what you do and have goals in mind. And most people that I know, they reach their goals or they're on track to reach their goals with that kind of mindset. Just stay dedicated, do what they are good at, and focus on their strengths, and focus on your strength and hire people that cover up your weaknesses. That's pretty simple. I think it's like Elon Musk or something that said something like that. I don't know.
People are offering me developers for my mobile agency, and I've been through 3 of them. I'm searching for someone to employ full time and help me out with my mobile apps. And I refused all of them because I'm not in a position to teach people how to code. I'm not in a position to code on the same level. I'm only in a position to hire up. In this moment in my agency, I need people smarter than me in my company, not people dumber than me. And I'm not trying to mingle on price. That's going to be more expensive, and I'm happy with that. But I'm going to wait, and I'm going to hire someone smarter than me.
Yeah.
At some point, you get to a position when you afford to teach people. I'm not there yet. People try to save on, let's get an intern. I see so many guys our age running their little businesses, and they're 22 and they work with people who are 16 just in high school who are doing a bunch of random stuff because it's cheap. Hey, I can find this guy for like 200 euros per month. He'll build websites for me. That's going to cost you much, much more because it's not those 200 bucks. This guy is not delivering as much as a guy from Asia for 3K per month. Like, there's guys in Asia for 3K who are much, much better than I will ever be at coding mobile apps. They've been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah.
And if I was to get an intern in my company for 200 euros, all my time would be spent teaching him. I wouldn't have safety. This wouldn't be scalable. This guy you can trust. He will stick with you. I'm not in a position to invest in someone lower than me. If I had 200 employees like you do, maybe I would throw up some internships.
Yeah.
But yeah, only higher up.
Yeah, and obviously, like, you'll find a lot of people that are specialized in one field, which is great. And once you find someone that you don't need to spend a lot of time doing, like hiring up as well, it allows you to focus on the higher leverage tasks within the company, actually growing the company. You don't want to spend 4 hours a day in communications with this guy, telling him, oh, by the way, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Change this, adjust this.
I want that guy to tell me what to do better.
Yeah, I mean, that would be better, yeah. And that's the case. And obviously those are more expensive, but it's worth it.
It's the same as a website. Like, you're trying to save up on what? Like 3K per month? When instead in the long run, you're going to earn much more. And what type of clients will work with me if my team includes interns and people who build random stuff? Yeah, I think that's true. But then it depends on who you have as well as interns. You can have some super talented people for cheap, but it's rare. You know, that's the thing, it's rare. And also, I have a great example, my video editor. If you look at my Instagram Reels, I'm the bottleneck. So you can say, hey, I'm the bottleneck, but the editing itself, I have the greatest editor in the whole Gens Crossed Crab niche, apart from Iman Ghazi, Frederick Pauls, all the guys who are like established 7 or 8 figures owners. So anyone below 7 figures, I have the best editor. And my guy is pretty cheap, but I keep advertising. I keep telling him, build a personal brand, grow, because I know for sure, I told this to him, sir, I want to record as much content as I can, because at some point, someone will discover you and will fly you to Dubai and will pay you a lot of money and I won't be able to pay you anymore.
Yeah.
That's my approach to people who are earning less and are super good guys.
Let it flourish and
let it flourish.
Pay them what they're worth, yeah.
Nice. I like the rant about mistakes, sir. It fired me up. What other mistakes can you do as a beginner in agencies?
Double-wielded sword, or however you say that, but you can work too little on yourself, but then you can also work too much on yourself. So, I mean, this is not something that has never been said before, but working on yourself is obviously necessary to build a company. Strangely enough, I've seen some people that don't really work for themselves, but they don't really work on themselves, but they manage to build a big company. But it's rare, and some of those people might just be gifted naturally with being clever and self-conscious, or like conscious about, you know, their life and their existence. But I think if you work too little on yourself, you will have a lot of bottlenecks within the business that you think is business related, but it's actually personal stuff. In my case, for example, I was afraid to charge higher prices because I thought at some point that it wasn't worth it for the client to spend 3K on a website. And I was simply told to network, over-deliver, and you'll eventually find the clients where you think it's worth it for them to spend more money on a website. and then to obviously just to try, even though you might lose some clients if you try to raise your prices directly. But if you do it well, and if you have a again, like if you have a solid sales process with that, it can be worth it.
If you don't build yourself up first, you develop bottlenecks, and those bottlenecks in your personal life are the bottlenecks in your business. You look at your business and you see, hey, I don't have many leads.
Yeah.
It's not really a business problem. It can be a business problem, but most often in the beginning, it's actually a personal problem with your networking, or with you slacking off, or with you being the type of person that's not yet ready for this type of money. The market is very, very good at pricing things in. This whole capitalism thing they developed, very good. When a guy like you starts building websites which are worth 5K for $500, the market will find out very soon. It just happens. And then you're going to charge 2K and you're going to build 10K websites. The market prices these things in. In the stock market, in crypto, in real life, everything is a market. And when you become the type of person that is worth more than the business, like let's say you're a guy who's a 7-figure per month entrepreneur. You wake up at 5 a.m., you do cold showers, you go for a run for 20 kilometers, you get back home, you eat broccoli. Yeah. And then you eat raw beef, whatever. You do the crazy stuff which a guy who makes $1 million per month does.
Yeah.
You have all these habits formed, but your business is building websites. Obviously, if you're waking up at 4 a.m. and you're doing cold showers and you're going for a run and you're doing all this crazy stuff in your personal life, you won't just move to business and be like, hey, this website, fuck this. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So when you become a higher person who works out, who takes care of himself, who improves their life, your business naturally, because your business is yourself, by the way. We have AI, we have all these robots building. Your business is yourself. And as you grow, the business grows and everyone is happy. And you are renting about, it's impossible to earn 10, 20, build a big company when you're not already a big person. It's very, very rare.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was talking about before I lost track. I think it's actually a conversation I had with a good friend of mine, and I asked him, and he's a I would say very successful young guy, and I asked him, and this was I think almost a year ago, maybe a bit more, and I asked him, how long do you work during the days? And he said, I work on average probably 10 hours per day. And I was like, okay, interesting. And then that's when I installed, I think this was I don't remember, but I installed a time tracking software, not Rise that we use now, but it was another time tracking software. And I would be tracking the work hours that I would do, not just the general work hours, and the times where I step off the computer or I go, fuck off, do something else, go to the gym or go do groceries or cook food or something like this. And I would see that my work hours per day were actually not that high. I would see that, okay, on average I had maybe 5-6 hours of work days. And I was like, okay, and this comes into exactly what you were talking about. Imagine the type of person that lives the life that you want to live and map out their day. What do they do? What do they do when they wake up? Do they meditate? Do they not meditate? Do they take cold showers? Do they exercise? Do they eat healthy? Do they do whatever? Map out their day and compare your life to what you have now, to where you want to be and what that person does. And then you can just pretty much cheat code your way to life, which is, okay, this person making this much money, living the life that I want to do, he's doing this in the morning. I'm gonna do this in the morning as well. Because one, it's gonna give me confidence because I'm doing the same morning routine as this successful guy. But at the same time, it's also going to make me feel superior to other people. It's like the superiority
which is
complex.
Not a bad thing.
Yeah, which I think is a great thing. Where you have everything.
It's natural superiority.
Yeah, you do stuff that a lot of people don't. It's natural that you feel good about it. And the fact that you do stuff that a lot of people don't, it's gonna get you places where a lot of people don't get. And yeah, so that's kind of what I started doing. I started to plan out my days, and I realized that if I get all my focus hours in on work and doing what I need to do, I have a lot of spare time to spend. Especially this was when I really noticed this was when I hired my first full-time employee, And I realized that when I get my focus hours in, when I do the client communication, the delivery, the new client acquisition, onboarding calls, etc., project overview, project management, when I did all that after a day, I realized that, oh wow, today I only worked for 4 hours. What can I fill the rest of my time with? And that's when I started to really go, okay, should I spend some time and build this website for a client and call them and ask, hey, I built a website for you? Or should I focus on reading book, improving myself mentally? Should I exercise? Should I spend more time with my family? And I did a bit of a mix. I did all of it. And yeah, I think imagine someone you want to be in 10 years and plan out their day. Or imagine yourself in 10 years.
10 years is a long time. People lose focus. Andrew Tate has a great motivational speech for 20 minutes. Imagine how you're going to look like in 2 years by doing that. Imagine what car you're going to drive. Imagine how your woman would look at you when you're doing all these things, the respect in her eyes.
Yeah.
She will look at you like a king because it's raining outside, you're still going for the run. You don't feel like you're still working out. You don't feel, after those 4 hours of work, the initial 4 hours when you're tired, and you've already achieved something, you want to go to sleep, you want to slack off, you want to scroll on Instagram. Then the discipline comes in and you continue, you do a bunch of outreaches, you do a bunch of, I don't know what the website entails, but you continue doing those things for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Imagine then, how can you not be successful?
Yeah, it's very similar. It's pretty much the exact same thing, just shorter time frame. And then I know I've heard a similar thing. Imagine if for the past 2 years you did everything that you should have done. Where would you be today? You know, and it's because obviously everyone slacks off every now and then, and it's just you envision yourself in the future and you see, you plan out what's necessary to get there, and you take action. And
just draw out a persona, an imaginary persona, like the two-door that drives a Lamborghini. What would he do in my position? Mm-hmm. Would two-door that drives a Lamborghini stop after the initial 3 hours of focused work in the morning? Or maybe if he's a crypto millionaire. Or will he do, like when I'm tired, I think about me being successful and I do the things that successful me would do and I cast votes. I know our former friend used to use this. But every time you do something you're supposed to do, you cast votes towards that person and you become more and more that person. Every time you do the opposite, you become more and more you. And it's all about coins. At one point you put so many coins, so many votes towards that successful person and you just become the successful person. Yeah, exactly. And then another great thing that I heard or perspective on that is every time you don't do what you're supposed to do, so let's say back last year I had a goal of hitting 20K a month with my own agency, and that was the financial goal. I said by the end of the year I want to hit, or even before, I want to hit 20K a month in revenue. And one of my mentors said, every time until you've hit your goal, every time you don't do anything towards that goal, you prefer doing what you're doing than to earn 20K a month. Like if every time you're laying in bed in the evening watching Netflix, or in the morning watching Netflix, watching 2 episodes or 3 episodes of whatever series you watch, you prefer doing that than to hit your goal, than to actually earn 20K a month. And he told me that every time you stop work after 7 hours in the day, you prefer having the extra 5-6 hours to yourself than to be earning 20K a month. You prefer that. You prefer doing whatever the fuck you're doing in those hours. And that really put stuff in perspective for me. It was like, fuck, I really want to put all my attention to hit my goal. And when I hit my goal, I can focus on other stuff. I can do other stuff. I can reward myself with Netflix, or with, I don't know, if it's fitness goals, reward yourself with cake. You know, have some kind of reward. But
don't reward yourself for not hitting your goal or for slacking on your goals. You can't reward yourself for that. I think it doesn't make sense. And then turns out once I hit 20K a month, I became even busier. So eventually, that was like back in October. And even then it's like, you hit your goal, you're very happy with it, but you don't have, at least for in my case, I didn't have time to think about it. It wasn't a big wow. It didn't have a wow effect when I had it. This was October. I didn't have a wow effect.
Because you moved the goalpost, sir.
Yes, that too. Yes.
The 20K per month goalpost you had when you were a teenager, you no longer aspire for 20K per month. You probably aspire for 6 figures, 7 figures.
Yes. Yes, obviously.
Financially, and you probably have other goals as well.
Yeah, no, obviously. But what I meant was that month where we hit 20K, 21K, I think it was exactly. It was like I didn't even have time to look back at it and be like, wow, we hit 20K. It was only, I think it was a week after October was done, where I was like, hold on a second. Did we do all of this in October? And then I'm like, fuck, nice, okay. And like that was the only, but like during the month and while it was happening, I didn't have time. I put all my focus towards the business, and now, you scale even further. And then eventually we went to do a merge with Refi, which has been incredible. Which I was very nervous with it, but then now we have different goals. But again, we keep busy, and if we hit the goals, like we don't take too much time to look back at it. We just, okay, we hit that goal, next one.
There will be plenty of times to look back on stuff.
Yeah.
This is why we have cigars. If you will get over your fear of cigars, maybe one day we'll have a cigar in the morning. I know that's frightening.
I like cigars in the morning, man.
That's
in
frightening
the evening,
for
it's
you.
Nice.
That's frightening for you, but maybe one day we'll have a cigar in the morning in Bucharest with our supercars outside, and we'll think about the stuff. Now, there's an argument against your 7-hour versus 14-hour days policy, which may say, hey, what if I don't want to hit my goals now? What if I still want to become a successful entrepreneur, but I want to become a successful entrepreneur slower? Maybe I want to take 20 years instead of your 5 years. Well, the problem is the window is closing. It's stupidly easy. I don't know how it's going to be in 10 years, but right now it's stupidly easy. All the information you need to do anything you can find online, because what works now, the latest, I told you about the market earlier. The market has evolved in a way that the only way to differentiate yourself in the content game is to just provide a lot of value, just provide crazy value, and then maybe 0.1% of people will buy because they like you as a person. That's what works now. So any industry you want, dropshipping, marketing, I don't know, websites, anything, you already have the resources. You already have the platforms. You currently have the option to move to Bali for a year and live off $500 per month.
Yeah.
If you're not financially successful, we have all those options, and it's stupidly easy. I don't know how this long is going to last for. I don't know what AI is going to look like in the next 5 years, but right now it's possible, and the window is closing every day. So not only do you choose to only work 7 hours a day, you're not sure if you're going to have this time tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. You never know, and I think it also depends. Like if you don't have anything else to do, like some days, I remember back in the day, it was if I really would complete everything that I would have completed during the day, and it takes me 7 or 8 hours, I would be like, okay, fine, I accomplished what I wanted to do during the day. I have nothing else I can work on, but there's always something to work on. And the more you always find something else to work on, because there is always something you can work on. If it's yourself, if it's the company, if it's outreach, if it's deliveries, if it's overview, if it's whatever, there's always something to work on. And if you make sure that every single time you realize, okay, I finished everything that I needed to do today, I can't take the rest of the day off, or should you work on something else that you won't take the time to either way? Like, spend more time doing the things you neglect doing. It was like, there's a saying, I think it's a saying, everything you want to achieve lays behind the things that you procrastinate doing. So everything that you don't want to do, if it's someone, I mean, I have friends and I know people that they need to do cold calling or they need to do some type of outreach to get their new clients. But they cold call 50 people a day or 50 people a week, some people I know. It's like, okay, and then they procrastinate the rest. They said, yeah, but nobody responded, or I only got one client, or blah, blah, blah. Okay, but if you quadruple that and you call 200 people a week, like how, like it's foolproof. Like you won't fail doing it. You just need to do it. It's just boring. It just sucks.
Volume neglects luck.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense. Volume neglects luck.
Now here's another problem we can tackle on. So let's say you're happy with the amount of hours you're working, because we're in a very fortunate position to be full-time on our agency. 2 years ago, you were also taking care of children. Well,
yeah,
in a super safe way. He was a gym teacher. He wasn't a pedophile. Crazy.
Yeah.
Some people have their hours booked, and they're in a position of managing a finite amount of resources, which is your time, your energy, and everything, on an infinite amount of options. Because as you said, there's an infinite amount of things to spend time on. You can rebuild your website, shoot some content. I don't know. You do something better for a client. You can find unlimited things to work on, but you have a finite amount of time. And if you do the wrong things, you're in the wrong boat, and you might be working for no reason. Which is the fallacy of entrepreneurship. We won't know until we make it, and that can take a few years.
Yeah, you never know.
How do you manage this finite amount of resources? There's no way to know for sure you're doing the best things. It's like in the crypto, you'll never find the best place to sell, but your goal is to sell as close to the top as possible. You'll never get the true top. You'll never get the best, highest ROI on your time and your resources. But how do you get close to the best? How do you know I should be doing content instead of reading a book? Or what's your system for doing that?
I think the way I've looked at it before, and the same thing, the way I look at it now too, it's a bit like, what's the hardest thing you can do that you wouldn't want to do? Like, what's the thing you would least want to do that. Like, if, for example, I'll take an example from a very recent project we had. A few days before launch of a big new website, we received 350 comments of revisions to change, which was super last minute. And obviously, like, and this was now a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever. So I had two options, right? So I could either send all of this to the developers and to the designers and say, hey, we need to update all of this. But again, I also have my own experience in building websites. So I figured I'll take on 300 of these, and which are the basic, simple one. And for anything that's development related, I will let the team focus on their strengths, which is this. I don't want to waste the team's time changing copy and changing images on the website. I wouldn't want to do that, because that's wasting their time, because we also have other projects that they need to focus on. And for myself, it wasn't the highest leverage, definitely wasn't the highest leverage activity that I could be doing for the company. But I had a week and a half, 2 weeks, where it would be like between 10 and 14 hour days, pretty much daily. And a lot of focus would be these just revisions, and we would get new ones from the client. Usually we should cap it, and we actually should cap it on this project, because it's been too much now. But I figured I want to make sure that my time can be spent on doing the fine details and the slow and the annoying kind of work, changing images, everything, renaming, so that the team can focus on the higher leverage tasks. And me, I can focus on the higher leverage tasks later. But we want to launch this project ASAP. So instead of doing the most effective thing for the company, I do the most effective thing for the project to get it launched ASAP when we want to launch it. And that's something that I was thinking about while I was doing it. To get back to your question, how do you know that the tasks you're doing are the highest leverage tasks you can do? You don't always know, and it's most of the time it's the boring thing that you don't want to do, the things that you procrastinate doing. That's most of the time the things you really need to do. But for me, I go by gut feeling. What's best for the team? What allows our team to deliver on other projects at the same time? Or like, should I give these tasks to the team and let them take 4 or 5 extra days, another full week to complete these tasks? Or should I do it myself in the nights and let the team focus on the most higher leverage task for them, which is the development stuff, the custom stuff that I couldn't touch, and then we can get the website launched on time for the client. Client is going to be happy. I'm going to have invested a bit more time, but it's going to be worth it because the client will be happy.
And your developers will be happy. So you look at...
Yeah, that too. And it's just like, was it the highest leverage task? No, it wasn't. I spent hours and hours on end changing images. But like, sometimes that's how it is, you know? And to get back to the other things you mentioned, like doing cold outreach, or if you're doing this kind of strategy or email outreach, or if it's ads or Google ads or whatever you're doing during the day, how do you know it's the best thing you do? You don't. You never know. At least I think you never know the absolute best thing you can do. At least in my case. Like, it's the same as building a company, working 14-hour days without seeing any result. Like, you don't, just as you said, you can't know that you're doing something right until it works. And I know a few people that's been saying stuff like this, that working 14-hour days or 12-hour days, I would also do that if I would have a company that would make 20K a month, because then I could take a high salary. But like, you have to put in those hours before you're even making 10K a month, or before you're even making 5K a month. Put in those hours either way, and that's where a lot of people don't. Because they don't see the result. They just work hours and hours and hours on end with no visible results, or no financial results or financial return. But eventually you stay consistent, eventually you hit it. And that's why, what I mentioned as well in October, when we hit 20K, it was like just expected. Like, I wasn't like, yeah, 20K. It was like, okay, 20K, nice. But I feel like I worked more. I worked more hours than 20K was worth.
There's no way to know the secondary consequences of what you did. Butterfly effect. You did a bunch of stuff, and then a bunch of stuff didn't happen, as in your developers didn't lose time.
Yeah.
You changed the universe in the way you wanted. I raised this because, in my opinion, it's the hardest thing about entrepreneurship. Building something, investing something, doing this much stuff, and not knowing for sure at the end of the month, will I get paid or not, at the end of the quarter, at the end of the year, at the end of 2 years. I used to say what I was doing was easy, and it was. Because more or less so far, I've just built very beautiful apps, and I've got clients from referrals, which were paying very well. I never went through your phase building websites for $500. Good. Pretty much my lowest project was 3K, and now I'm into like double digits. But it was a very comfortable life. The moment you start investing, you start paying for content, producing content, you start paying for emails, you start treating this like an actual business, then it becomes hard.
Yeah.
So it's hard, but gut feeling is nice. I go about that as well. And also, it's never a bad choice to do the hardest thing which you least want to do, because even if it's a dumb idea, like for me now to do I don't know. I don't have an example of myself. But doing the hard thing is never a bad idea because it works a lot on you. It's like working out is never a bad idea because it's hard and it will make you a stronger person.
Yeah.
Doing the hardest thing which you least want to do, it guaranteed to make you a stronger person with a better discipline. That's guaranteed.
Yes.
If it happens to also be the best thing to do in your business, then you're lucky or whatever.
Yeah.
Good luck to you. But still.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I mean, most of the time, the stuff that you procrastinate doing is the things that you really need to do. And you procrastinate because it's the boring tasks, or it's the very time-consuming tasks, or it's the uncomfortable tasks. But 90% of the time, in my experience, those are the things you need to focus on in order to grow. And eventually it gets easier, because it's similar to stress. Like, the more you do it, the more you get used to it, and the more you adapt to it. Same as running and working out. The more your body goes through that stress, the more used to the more used to it you get. And same with doing these uncomfortable tasks and doing the very time-consuming items on your to-do list. And the more you do it, eventually you just get used to it and you don't think about it anymore. And that's when you kind of optimize. And then the question is, okay, but how can I if I get used to doing the hard items, how can I determine the good stuff from the bad stuff now? Well, you find new challenges. You find new items to do. Find new clients. Find higher clients, higher paying clients. Find bigger projects, for example. Hire more people. It's, in a lot of the time, at least for me, for how it's been for the past 2 years for me, it's do the hard stuff first, because everything else is easy. Like, it's super simple. Like, super simple. Like, if you do the hard stuff, the rest is easy. And it's just a question about doing the hard stuff.
University was super nice because it had this compass, this North Star. So I have my hard stuff, which are my exams, every once in a while, and then the rest of the stuff is easy. Everything was mapped out for you. And then at the end of the year, you pass the year and you move on, and then at the end, you do a license and you're done. In business, there is no North Star. You need to create your own compass.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's no done for you. There's no campaign map like you have in Call of Duty. I will do mission 1 and then I move to mission 2 and then at the end I kill the bad guys. In business, you need to find your own missions.
And about that as well, like there's no North Star because, and I think that's a good thing as well. Like, you need to set your own North Star, but also to have your goals or your North Star, if you want to call it that way, never ending. Like, you can't pause in business. I'm taking the 20K a month as an example because we had it in October and that's in my own experience. If we hit 20K a month, I can't just stop at 20K a month to withhold that and maintain 20K a month and just live stress-free for the rest of my life. Like, if I stop continuing to grow, it's going to decline. And so you always need to push further. And that's like, there's actually a pretty close friend of mine who told me this a while ago. He said, if you hit, let's say 20K a month, or even if you hit 10K a month, like with the agency, and you can take, maybe 5K salary. Like, if you hit that, why don't you just stay on that exact kind of system where you can just maintain 10K a month for the rest of your life? Because eventually it's going to decline. If you just stop growing, eventually it's going to decline, right? You can't just maintain that income. You need to continue to grow. And some people will see that as working too much or always working or never happy with where you are. But yes, obviously we're happy where we are. And I am, and I think you are, happy with where I am, but I'm not satisfied. I don't want to stay here. I want to go further. I want to grow the company even more. I want to grow it 10 times the size, And when I've grown it 10 times the size, I'm going to want to double it again. And then I want to double it again. It's a never-ending cycle, I think, too. So I think being greedy is important, but greedy for the right thing. Not greedy for cash, but greedy for growth.
I think it's all about wanting to play the game. It's not about the result. And the pursuit of the goal and my journey to get to the goal was amazing. Like saving money to buy the watch like 3 years ago, or saving money to move to London, or stuff like this. That was super cool and fun. And then you buy the watch, or you move to the apartment, and then it's gone. So the same thing with business. The fun and the whole thing is in the process. Or when you want to get the destination, the road is actually the beautiful part in Romania when you get to the Transfăgărășan. It's actually the nice curves, not the view from the top of the thing.
Yeah.
So it's enjoyment in playing the game, not winning the game, because there's no end to this game.
Yeah.
And regarding the not enough thing, there are a bunch of questions which people ask at networking events, a bunch of stupid questions. Like, what do you do for work? Or even stupider, how much money do you make? This one you don't get often, but you do sometimes. And my answer to how much money do you make is not enough. That's my standard one. I mean, it's a very good answer. And that will always be my answer. Not enough. Up until it won't be, because right now I'm 23. When I will have children, when I will have a family, when I will be 45, 45, 55, I will have a different outlook on life. My solution to that is to only be concerned about the things I'm concerned as a 23-year-old. You ask me if I'm going to move to, I don't know, if I'm going to stay in Bucharest or whatever I'm going to do over the next year. It's not my concern. My concern right now is to build the website for the wine guys, to fix my content, to train my editor better, I don't know, to get my emails to work. Are my concerns right now. Moving to Bucharest, choosing my apartment, I don't know, solving. My girlfriend asked me the other day, hey, maybe when we are 60, we go and live on cruise ships for the rest of our lives, because I see this documentary of some old people who, after they retire, they just live on cruise ships full time.
Yeah, I saw that as well, actually.
What do you think about that? And I say, it's not my concern. It's the concern of Tudor in his 60. If there will be a Tudor in his 60 and I'm not in prison, then maybe I will consider it, but it's not my problem now. I trust me in 40 years much more on that than I trust me. So that's my answer. As of now, I'm not satisfied with 10K per month.
Yeah.
Will I get to 50K and stop? I don't know, not my concern. My concern is building the website or the wine guys. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's a very good mindset to have, especially for me now. There's so much uncertainty in life. There are so many things you can control. You look around Instagram, you see so many guys with money. Yeah. You have so much opportunity. You can move to Bali, you can move to Greece, you can move to Romania. You have so many avenues to start on business, so many verticals, so many channels to acquire customers, so many niches. Unlimited options. Nothing is fixed. So the only solution I found so far is to limit this by only being concerned about now. What do I need to do now? What do I need to eat this week? Is there a show I need to go to next week? Maybe Olivia Rodrigo comes to London, I want to buy tickets. Maybe I want to go to Taylor Swift in Paris next month. Yeah, maybe, fine. Or we go to Bucharest in July, then fine. But I don't lose anything over this.
No. Yeah, it's about focusing on the things that you have control over now and you can do, and because everything changes all the time. So you can't plan and you can't take action for something that you're going to do in a month, but stuff can change.
When you're Elon Musk, you have so many things to worry about and you need to plan for the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Or when you're a tinier Elon Musk in Romania, for example. When you're me now, my concern is my super future plans are what car I'm going to buy and what type of apartments I'm going to buy. I scroll on the Romanian Facebook marketplace and I look at the prices of Porsches for the next 6 months when I want to buy a Porsche. Right now, the only decision I need to make is what do I eat this week, what am I working on this week? And then next week I need to decide what am I working on this week. There's no point in me taking any decision over the next year because I'm not running a $1 billion empire. So I need to focus on, hey, maybe we move marketing in this thing. Everything is super tiny. And also, I'm not as smart as Elon Musk. I have limited intelligence. I know that may scare some people too, it looks so smart. The best use of this is to focus this on the present, the very short term, in my opinion.
Yeah, if you want to, yeah, I mean, when it comes to action, definitely. But I think taking action without having, I mean, yes, I do get what you mean. Like, goals come as you achieve new goals. When you buy your first Porsche, you're gonna want to set a goal, and you want to buy a Bentley for your next car, which is new goals and new goals. So it's gonna be ever-going goals. But then it just depends on how you want your life to look. If you plan, I plan 10 years ahead. Like, I know what I want to do this year to make sure that I achieve my goals in 5 years. The goals for 10 years is a lot of real estate. I want to have a lot of real estate. And what I've said is I want to own 20% of the city where I'm from, in Sweden.
You're from a village, that won't be...
No, from the city though, like
okay.
From the city.
Hey, because from the village you can just build a
in the village I buy, it's 10 houses and I own 20%. But like if in the city I want to own a lot of real estate.
Why is that?
I just do, and the reasons are many. Like, where I left that, like there's a lot of people that don't leave there, and sometimes it's a comfort zone, that whole city, I think. And I left there without being anything, and I don't want to go back until I can prove and I can firmly say to my family and stuff like this that it was worth me leaving, because a lot of people in my family were against me leaving at all.
Doesn't it scare you having such a big goal? What if you actually get it?
Yeah, fuck yeah. If we get it, like, fuck yeah, like, I'm happy with that, you know. But I'm not worried about it at all. Like, yes, sure, when I said it, I was like, fuck, it's really big. But then I look at my action items and my goals this year. It's like, wow, like I'm buying my first apartment this year to rent out.
But big goals like yours scare me, sir. Because my biggest goal so far, so don't judge. My biggest goal as a 23-year-old, I want to rent out a whole floor of one of those big skyscrapers in Bucharest and create a Y Combinator in Romania, but free, and for people in high school and college. So I told you about this a few times, and I keep saying this, but it's amazing. It will be a meritocracy, so it will be very hard to get in, probably like 10, 20 teams, and I will give them guidance, so a bunch of smart people full-time helping people out to develop their businesses, teaching them about stuff. Real estate space, so they can host their meetings in there and become cool kids. And just giving the chance to people to build stuff and become real. And every once in a while, being this whole famous guy, I text on the Slack channel that, hey guys, today me and Edvin will be in town, and I'm like a multimillionaire, Edvin is a billionaire. And imagine those guys, those children who are building their lemonade stands and whatever they will build in 20 years. They come and we do a live Q&A, ask me anything, we stay like this and we have like 50 children in front of us and they ask, hey, how did you make your first million? And you say, well, I bought Ethereum when it I bought Ethereum back on 2K. No, but still, they ask us questions and we give them guidance, and it's all super fun and genuine, and that's not a big goal. Like mid 7 figures, maybe like 10 million, I can do that easily. Running the whole business will be like 20k per month, a 20k per month charity. It's not huge.
Yeah.
It's super achievable, and my goal is not to do this next year, is to do this in like 20 years.
Yeah.
Up until then, like I told you, buy the Porsche, buy a bunch of apartments.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's your goal, if it's your goal, it's your goal. You know, like you don't have to think like, oh, maybe my goals aren't big enough, or maybe they're too big. Like, at least to me, like I want to build something like empire vibes for my children to take after I die, and that's it. Like I want my.
You want your children to have money.
That's a long topic. They wouldn't be raised. I wouldn't spoil them at all raising them, but yes, the money would be there. I look at a lot of my friends that I know that are, you can say, stuck in this cycle. They don't have specific goals. They have, oh yeah, I want to be rich. That's what they say. But when you say, how much money do you want to earn? They say, oh, I don't know. What do you want to be working with? Oh, I don't know. And how would your day look? How much would you be working? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I want to be rich. It's like, okay, but like, fuck, bro. Like, you need a plan. And if they don't have a plan, then, you know, they will be doing stuff that doesn't align with their goals.
I would throw in an argument for those guys saying we got lucky that you're building websites and you like doing websites. I got very lucky that the first thing I tried was building mobile apps, and I'm now very good at doing this. They'll probably be doing this for a while. Some people weren't as lucky. Some people didn't. Some people may have picked the wrong university. Some people may have picked the wrong career choosing. Some people are still figuring this out. You're not supposed to figure this out when you're 22, 23, 24. Life is pretty long. You have time to figure stuff out. You have time to figure what is it that you're going to do for the rest of your life to get rich or figure out your goals or stuff like this.
Yeah, obviously you have time, but the fact that you have time doesn't mean you should waste it, in my opinion. I don't think, like, yes, you can say, like, yes, sure, okay, I could spend my 20th partying, but like, I'm just postponing my goals. And as you said before, like, the gap is closing to achieve the goals. So like, why would I waste time doing something that doesn't align with what I want to do? Or why would I waste time not finding out what I want to do? Like, if I don't know what kind of, let's say I would be back at university, I don't have my business, and I wouldn't know what kind of work field or what kind of company I would like to start. The way I find, because I've started like fucking 6, 8 companies. I've had multiple e-commerce stores. I've had multiple services, photography, 3D design. I've had websites. I had social media marketing. I had Google Ads. I had SEO. I had so many of these things, right? Of like brands that I've started that nothing took off. And website is the first thing that took off. But if, as you say, like, if you don't know what you want to do, okay, but try stuff that you want to do. But if you're in university, you study 5 days a week, and in the weekend you party. So Friday evening you party, Saturday you're hungover, Sunday you're lazy, or maybe you have Sunday to work. But how about you take Friday evening, full Saturday and full Sunday to work on finding something you want to do. Then you have 2.5, you're gonna find out what you want to do 2.5 times quicker. Like 250% quicker than someone who parties on Friday, lays hangover on Saturday, and then works on Sunday. Like, if you don't know where you want to go, why party and waste that time? Why not figure out what you want to do?
I don't advertise partying. I'm saying I know people, friends of mine, who are trying stuff out and maybe it hasn't worked out yet because they still they don't know how they're going to get rich. They've been doing e-commerce, they've been doing ads, they've been doing the agency model, and they still haven't succeeded. And to those guys, I'm saying we got lucky. Mobile apps had not worked for me. I've done dropshipping, I've done ads, I've done websites, and mobile apps was kind of the 4th thing, and it took off. You've done 6 things. Maybe you weren't born to be a website designer. Maybe your thing was number 12 or number 15.
Yes.
As long as you don't give up, at some point.
As long as you try it. But I think spending your 20s wasting time instead of figuring that out is a waste of time. Even though we have a lot of time. And like Gary Vaynerchuk, he says, everyone is so young. When you're 35, when you're 40 years old, you're so young. You have so much time. Yes, but like, why waste it? You know? At least, like, I have super strong opinions against like partying and stuff like this, which I don't talk about it super often, but fuck it, I'll talk about it here.
Thank you. For the first time. Exclusive.
Yeah, like
Edvin opens up of stuff he never talks about.
I have super strong opinions about partying. Like nothing of it makes sense to me. Like that's just because maybe I'm personally not a fan of it in general. Like I wouldn't enjoy going out to a club or I wouldn't, and like 99% of the time that I've lived for the past since I started drinking, like sorry, I mean, no, not even sorry mom, my mom knows it. But like I started drinking when I was like 14, 15 with like my friends in Sweden, and we would be like go to like some house parties every now and then. But I would never enjoy drinking. And as I got older, like wine and stuff like this, yes, it was nice to food, but many of the times I would just drink it because my parents would, to seem like I would drink it to seem older or be with my friends to seem older. But now that I'm a bit more settled, like I know myself, I don't have to prove myself to anyone, I would pretty much 9 times out of 10, I would rather have a Coca-Cola than a beer on a Friday night.
Which is also bad, by the way.
Yeah, which is very bad. But there's
shout
two.
Out to Danilo.
There's 2 types of bad, right?
So we're throwing a disclaimer here. Edvin has never been to one of my parties.
Yes, I have.
No.
When
I was putting music in Bucharest and Rob was dancing and stripping near the window, that wasn't.
No, I didn't do any of that. I went to the barbecue that we had. I thought that was a party.
It was like a networking event, but a genuine party.
Okay, fair point.
Like if we are to start the Bucharest event. So the Bucharest event is 8 guys in a villa with cars for a week, and then a bunch of stuff. And in the first night, I invite cool people, cool girls, the best DJ I know. I getting some drinks, and we celebrate life. That will be a cool party. If I invite you, I don't know, maybe no one is going to watch this. Maybe I pull out mid 6 figures to 7 figures from crypto this year, and I throw a big party in Tenerife, and we rent a yacht, and we do a bunch of stuff with Julia and my girlfriend and a bunch of friends. That's a party, and that's super cool. If you drink or not, that's your problem. I will be drinking because I never drink, and when I drink, I want to enjoy myself. Yeah, I think those celebrations are super cool. And life has to be lived. So there's working and partying. Don't mix them. There are periods in your life when you need to work. There are periods in your life when you can party. Just make this focused. Like the worst thing you can do is, another friend of mine was suggesting, he was on holiday near a beach, and he was giving me pictures from the beach, how he's staying there with his laptop for a week, saying, oh, look, I'm working, and I have the beach nearby, and I can touch sand with my feet. That's the stupidest thing you can do. Like when you work, focus on working. Go in an office, focus, work. When you're on holiday, enjoy your holiday, go swim, do some surfing, do whatever you want. Don't try to mix them in, because you're not going to party properly, you're not going to work properly. Just choose one. That's my little rant as well.
Yeah, it makes sense. And then, if you're gonna enjoy something, enjoy it. Like do it 100. Like anything you do it 100%. Right? It's like, if you're gonna party, fuck it, party. Do have a party of a lifetime. But for me, like that's what I'm meaning, is like instead of throwing a party, like I would just get more out of it if it's something else than parties.
If I build a mobile app and I have an exit of 8 or 9 figures, like our friend, the founder of that company, if I build a SaaS and I sell it for 9 figures, and I spend the rest of my life partying like Richard fucking Branson on the guy who founded that Amazon store, like Zista or whatever, and he partied until he died. That would be nice. Like I've sold the company for 100 million. All my friends are taken care of, all my family is taken care of. If I want to start teaching kids again about how to scale their business to 1 to 10 million per year, maybe I will.
Yeah.
But still, if I want to party, I will party.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah, that would be a good reason to party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the rest of your life. Make your life a hell of a party.
So once we make 9 figures, we can party. I can have a beer when I make 9 figures. Maybe not. We'll see.
Future predictions, sir. Where do you think the world is going?
I think it's going to be great. Like I don't see anything negative with it. Like yes, sure, there's wars and there is big economical crisis and there's government crises worldwide and corruption and shit like this. But I think for people that like us that we take action, I think it's going to be good. I think life will be good. We'll be able to provide and protect and live a safe life in uncertain times. And who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? Who knows what's going to happen in 5 years? But I think on the trajectory that we're going and that most of our people in our network are going, I think we're all going to be able to live a nice, very nice and secure and happy life.
For sure. And also, it's not our concern now to worry about wars starting. That's we can prepare for it. You can do a bunch of push-ups to make sure you can fight off the Russians when they invade Romania.
Yeah.
But not our concern now. I wanted to structure this in a way that I begin a new rant about personal branding and how it will be as important as like the most important thing in the world will be yourself and being a super good human, because that will be the only reason for people to work with you, because they like you. It already is. People already work with you because they like you, but now it's like 40%. I think that 40% will grow to 80%. I think as we have AI and everyone will have access to the same tools, everything will be commoditized. We'll have access to the same short form editing, we'll have access to the same branding, we will have AIs that generate the same templates. Everything will be the same. The only difference will be who do you want to deal with as a business owner or as a customer. And it's going to be you. So you better be a cool person and a well-rounded individual.
Yeah, I think so, and important to that is also to stay humble with everything you do, no matter the success. Stay humble. Clients and people appreciate that a lot. I think that's cool. That's what I try to do, and nobody likes a dickhead. So
I've been thinking about the way to end the podcast. And I have an idea in mind. I don't know if I'm going to do this for all the guests, but for you, I want you to give a little message to Edvin in 1 year.
1 year? Short. I don't even know what to say in myself in 1 year. Edvin in 2025. All right, congrats on the new apartment, and congrats on finding that new tenant to live in your apartment, to rent that out. And good luck with buying your 2 new apartments this year. And congrats on hitting 100K a month with the agency.
Nice.
And congrats for the marathon that you ran 6 months ago.
We're running a marathon. Are you preparing for the marathon?
Yeah, I went on a run last week. That's it.
Guys, we're taking the marathon seriously.
Yeah, me too.
Everyone needs to complete the marathon. I'm thinking about...
Me too. I took it very seriously. I ran last week, like for 20 minutes. I need to run more.
We're going to meet on June 1st. And the people who've prepared, like me and Luis, will take this, we'll start running, we'll be focused, we'll be all in. And there will be guys like you and Danilo.
Nah, bro. Me and Danilo, we're finishing first, man. We're going in that shit first.
Who will take the phone out and be like, yo, I'm doing a marathon with 0 prep with my brother Edvin.
Yeah, bro. Let's go. Not 0 prep. I think we can prep. I think Marco told me that you just need 10 runs to be prepared for marathons. So I have 9 left. I'm fine.
Message for Edvin in 5 years.
Ooh, good question. Congrats of the exit of the company that you built together with your partner, and well done for starting to buy real estate in Sweden this year. Yeah, I think that's it. And now give some money to your family.
Yeah, that would be a good message.
Yeah.
I think I can include that. Do you do charity? Honestly.
Oh, now? No.
Yeah,
I sometimes I buy a sandwich for a homeless person, but it's not often. But no, the main things I want to take care of is my family. So if ever I do an exit and I touch 50 million, like I will send to each family member that I have, I will send quite a bit of money to them, divide that up with them, and then spend the rest on real estate, and then spend maybe a few 100K on myself. A car, maybe. That's a good moment. But yeah, 2025 I want to start buying real estate in Sweden. 2025, no, in 5 years, that's what I meant. In 5 years, that's when I want to start buying real estate in Sweden.
Good podcaster. What's amazing about our generation is we'll be the first generation with content recording. So
yeah,
our children, our grandchildren, everyone will be able...
Oh, by the way, to me in 5 years, congrats on your new son.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man.
I know you didn't plan this, but...
Yeah, no, I wanna have a son in 5 years.
In 5 years?
Yeah.
Sir, are you
maybe
crazy?
Maybe shorter. Like maybe.
Are you fucking crazy? Is Julia watching this?
Maybe in 3 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How old are you?
23.
You're crazy.
I wanna have 3 kids at least.
You dislike life.
No.
This is life and you dislike it. It's like you don't like money, you dislike life. But pleasure looking into your mind, pleasure taking the vibe out of this Sunday morning in London, here in Dandy on the Hill. Shout out to the guys who interrupted us like 10 times. Super unprofessional.
That's okay.
Thank you, sir, for coming.
Thank you, man.
And I will see you with, I don't know, with shorts on Instagram. Bye, guys.
Take care.
It was a pretty good podcast.